wanted to cover what a lot of people call the banker's secret, and then I'll show you some of the real banker's secrets. But this secret is supposed to be, if you were to take and whatever your loan is, double the payments, you'd pay off the loan in 6 years. However, that really depends on the loan itself. For example, this one is a $100,000 loan at 30 years, 4%, comes to $477 a month. Now we take and add $477 a month onto the loan extra, so we double the payments. The loan would be paid off in about 11 years, not 6. Now we could take and pay more, like pay $1,000 a month, and that would change it. But if we had a higher interest rate, maybe say 10%, then if we double the payments, yeah, then it might pay it off in 6 years. However, we'll take the $477, and how much change was that? 42 cents. And we're going to put that into an IRA. And we're going to take the IRA and we're going to have a 16% return. Because some IRAs actually do pay that much, some do not. Just depends on, the IRA. And add that back in every month. Oh. You have to multiply. This is a plus. Okay. Yeah. We're going to do that for 30 years. At the end of 30 years, we now have $253,000. As opposed to only having a house. However, we're going to take that house value of $100,000 and we're going to say it increases in value every year by 10%. Where I got the 10%, average house in a growing area will increase 10%. Average house in a non-growing area is 4%. Average house right now in our economy is probably losing money. At the end of 10 years, or after the end of 30 years, that house is worth $158,000. Alright, we'll format currency. Nope. This says our house is worth 1.5 million. Let's see if I did that right. Format cell, currency. Doubled. Yep. About 1.5 million. The house will be worth. Now, if it was a much higher interest rate, it would be a much bigger difference. I say we took it to $600 a month. Oh, I see what. Okay, go back, pull up a calculator. We gotta do that by 12. $477 a month, 12 months a year. Copy, paste, and paste. Now, that's much better. Format cell, currency. Alright. Now, at 16% our money we did not put on the house, we put it on an IRA, it is worth $3 million. Our house is worth $1.5 million. Now, that is the banker's secret they do not tell you. You'll be better off to put it in a higher interest bearing account. However, let's say instead of living in our house for 30 years, we take that house. After every 2 years, we will rent the house out and buy a new house. At the end of 30 years, because we bought one every other year, we will have 15 houses. So we will take our number here, multiply it by 15. We get $23 million. However, we do not actually have $23 million because the loans are not all paid off. The first house we bought will only be paid off. The last house we bought, we will only have a partial payoff. What we're going to do is we're going to take half the houses, sell them, and pay off the other half. Basically, we take this number and divide by 2. Now that's not an exact figure. It would take quite a long time to figure out what the exact figure would be, how much they actually paid on the loan. We have to go back to the loan calculator, get a long form, the form down here, pull the number out for every other year, punch it in, but for argument's sake, we're gonna go with this. We would have $11 million. Now that is the banker's secret. You would have $11 million instead of having just a house for $1.5 million. However, another thing they don't teach us. Let's say you had a income of $40,000 a year, and let's suppose you got a 3% raise. Now, where do you get a 3% raise? I've never gotten one, but let's say you got a 3% raise every year. So multiply in between here. 3% raise every year. At the end of 30 years, you should be making $94,000 a year. However, Princeton University, supposedly I read, Princeton University did a study, and when they did their study, they said the government leaves out a few things when they figure inflation. One is mortgage, interest, taxes, insurance, copay on insurance. I believe there was a few more things on the list, but after all these things are factored in, inflation is actually 11%. So we'll punch that in as 11%, and inflation is $824,000. So in 30 years, you would have to be making $824,000 just to be making the same as $40,000 today. Now, if you got the 3% raise, you are effectively this divided by this, making 11% of what you were making when you made 40,000. So 11% is $4,570. So if you get a 3% raise every year in today's dollars, in 30 years you'll be making $4,570. That is called government ripoff. The government decided, how can we steal people's money from them without them ever knowing it? And they called it inflation. Hope you have a great day.